I'm back. It's been a long time since I've seen you, but a lot has happened since then. I'm at 10 weeks post-op now for my labrum repair, my SLAP tear, and my biceps tenodesis. I feel a lot better. Last time was 6 weeks after surgery, I believe, and I just got out of the sling and I just started working on my range of motion. I showed you guys how to do the wall crawls with the arm. What I didn't get a chance to show you was when I got to my first PT session after that, he introduced something really cool, is the golf club. And luckily I had a putter that I carry around in my car trunk just in case, I see a driving range or something. So this is really good for working on your range of motion. When I first took the sling off, I could barely lift my arm on its own. And they really want you to not use those muscles too much, so they want you to passively get that range of motion back. With the golf club, I can use my other hand and I can just kind of hold on here on the end of the putter. I can push it up, like in the front for flexion. I can go up to the side for abduction. And I can really leave my arm relaxed while I push it up with the other hand. I can push it backwards, stretch out the back. And actually this also stretches out the bicep, because that's going to get tight too. You can go behind the back, do some stuff like this. Now, it's been 10 weeks. It's been 4 weeks since I started doing this stuff, so I've gotten a lot better. At first, I could not move this much. I was getting stuck about here, about like 90 degrees pretty much, and just work on it like 2 or 3 times every day. Small increments, you'll see the difference. It's slow, but you'll see it. And sometimes it hurts. So don't be afraid if you feel pain. It shouldn't be like unbearable pain. You'll feel a little bit of pinching, and that's when you know you went a little too far. You just go up until you feel tightness, just a tiny bit of pain, you back off. Go a little bit further next time. You don't want to push it too far. But this is a good tool. I don't know if all the PTs know about this, but in case yours doesn't, and you have golf clubs lying around, this will help. You could also use like a broomstick or something else, I guess. But this is really nice because of the putter head. You can rest your hand on it, it's a lot easier to push. We also did some stuff like this laying on the bed. Lay on your back on the bed, and you just hold on and you move it with your good hand. A lot of the similar stretches. We even put this on a pillow. We can push it out to the side for some external rotation. But that was pretty cool. So since then, we did that. We did strictly that stuff, range of motion, for about like 2 weeks, and then we started to strengthen things a little bit. But same thing, like small increments. So if you want to come over here, they're probably going to give you like resistance bands, which are the best things to use because you're not ready for weights or anything. They'll give you like a really light resistance band. You can tie it off on something. And then you just start working on your rotator cuff. Right now I'm using my good arm just so that you can see better on the camera. But also, since I have learned about my shoulders more, I've been doing all these exercises with both my shoulders. And what I realized was I have weak rotator cuffs on both sides, and I don't want to go through this again. So it's probably a good idea to strengthen both of your shoulders, make them nice and healthy. They'll give you a band, and you work on like your outward rotations. That really hits the back of the shoulder, the rotator cuff area. You can go to the inside to hit that subscap inside of there. We can do extension, and we can also do a flexion for the shoulder. It's probably gonna be like about 2 weeks after you got the sling until you can do this stuff, because this would be way too painful. You gotta get some range of motion back, break out some of that scar tissue, and then you can start doing some of this strengthening stuff. But it feels great. Getting things moving around, it feels so good. And every day you feel a little bit better, a little bit more normal. I like to push things, which is not always a good thing. So I was doing as much exercising as possible. I was doing a lot of ab work, a lot of legs and butt and stuff like that. I do stuff with my other arm. And once they gave me the okay to start doing some strengthening stuff, I pushed a little too far, I think, one night, and I was actually doing planks push-up plank position, and I was doing the plus portion of it, where you move your shoulders, you protract them and retract them. That also helps strengthen your shoulders. But apparently that was too much weight too soon, because that was a lot of my body weight, and I was in pain for like 2 or 3 days afterwards. So I still believe it's a good exercise, and I asked my PT and he gave me another version that I can do. So if you want to look, here's a pretty safe way to do it. So if you want to come over here. You can take one of these bands. You probably get like a really weak one to start off with. And you can do a lot of the same stuff that I was doing facing the ground, except now lay on my back, so it's a lot safer and it's a lot less weight. I can put this band around me. No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm gonna straighten my arms out, and I'm gonna use my shoulders to get some distance off the ground. I'm gonna roll my shoulders forward, and then I'm gonna pull them back and squeeze them together. And then I'm just gonna do, to fatigue, as many reps as it takes. Maybe I'll want to get a stronger band once I get my shoulders a little bit stronger. But this is a lot less weight than using my body weight. I've been doing this for about a week now, and I've actually graduated up to just using like an empty barbell, which is about 40-45 pounds. Same thing, just moving my shoulders forward and backward. It's a nice workout. Oh, yeah, I need this. Other than that, just stick to what the PT is telling you. Don't get too crazy with your exercises, because you'll get excited because you haven't moved your arm in so long and it feels so great. But just keep it under control. You gotta take baby steps. And during this whole process, you're gonna get really sore and you're gonna get a lot of knots here. The PT can work them out for you. He or she can work them out for you, but you don't want to spend all your sessions doing that when you could be doing other stuff that's more important. So you can work on it yourself. And I think I showed this before. I think I showed this before, but you can roll knots out with these tennis balls. You go up to a wall or something, and you just slowly, you put some weight into it, and you just slowly find a spot where it's really tight. Like I have knots right now. They're not as bad as they were before, but I still have them, and then you just hang out there until it starts to alleviate the pain. And then you roll a little further, get to the next spot. Do some of that stuff on your own so that your PT doesn't have to do it all the time and waste your sessions, But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still, you can see my arm's still very skinny, like atrophied, I guess. It's like bony, it's floppy. I can flex my bicep and my tricep, but they still don't feel normal, If you have a desk job or, something where you're not using your arm, you would be back at work by now. I'm a mechanic, so I need to be pretty much 100%, to go back to work, because I can't be lifting transmissions over my head and stuff like that if I can barely get my arm up over my head. So it's still going to be a bit of a journey for me, but I feel great. I can do most normal everyday stuff. And everybody's different. You might be farther than me, you might be behind me a little bit, and that's okay. Just keep your head up. When you're in the middle of it, it feels like it's never gonna end. I thought I was never gonna get that sling off, and now it seems like so long ago I can barely even remember it. So hopefully it's going smoothly for you out there, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably get another update in like 2 or 3 weeks when I see the surgeon again. So, bye. One more thing before I go. I forgot to mention something that was worrying me a lot. Like, especially that one night where I worked out too hard and then it got really sore. I also actually got I had a huge jump in range of motion, which kind of scared me because I knew, my shoulder's supposed to be tight and this surgery is supposed to help make it tighter. So once it got really loose, it was clicking and popping and grinding, and like, it felt weird, and I got really, really nervous and really scared that I messed up the surgery or something. This was like, 9 weeks after the surgery, and I went to the PT, told him how I felt. I was so scared, and they checked me, they were like, you're fine. Like, it's very hard to pull anchors out of the bone, and you would be in a ton of pain if that happened. And stuff is pretty much healed by 9 weeks, you know? And you're gonna feel, even for months down the line from now, there's probably gonna be like clicking and popping, and your arm's gonna feel like it's falling out of the socket. It's just part of the growing pains. Like, don't get too worried about it. I know I did. I lost sleep one night because of it, but now I know. You know, I'm not gonna stress about it too much, and you shouldn't either. All right.